You weren't supposed to look too closely. You were supposed to read the headlines, argue online, pick a political side, and move on. But then the documents dropped. Millions of pages, flight logs, emails, contact lists, videos. And suddenly the question wasn't, was Epstein connected to powerful people? The question became, how deep does this actually go? Because when you start following the names, the timelines, the repeated meetings, it stops looking like coincidence and starts looking like a system. Who was Jeffrey Epstein? Not the tabloid version, not the meme version, the real version. He wasn't a tech founder. He didn't build a billion-dollar startup. He didn't inherit oil money. And yet, he had mansions, private jets, an island, access to royalty, access to presidents, access to billionaires, access to scientists. How? Even financial investigators struggled to explain where the money truly came from. And that's where the mystery begins. Because power doesn't just appear. It's granted, protected, maintained. So who granted it? The newly released files don't just show names, they show patterns. Repeated contact, repeated meetings, repeated scheduling, repeated proximity. From politicians to CEOs to global philanthropists to members of the British royal family. Not once, not twice, but over years. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Being in someone's contact list doesn't equal guilt, but repeated interaction after public conviction, that raises questions. And the most unsettling question is this. If Epstein was so toxic, why did so many powerful people keep meeting him? There's a theory some analysts discuss quietly. Not conspiracy, not fantasy, but a pattern seen throughout history, the professional fixer. A person who doesn't officially work for a government, but operates in the gray area between government, intelligence, finance, private power. A connector, a gatekeeper, someone who introduces presidents to billionaires, scientists to investors, royalty to financiers. But here's where it gets darker. What if access wasn't the only thing being exchanged? What if influence was the currency? This is where the story becomes explosive. Multiple witnesses testified that Epstein documented everything. Cameras, photos, records. Now pause. If you were running a legitimate social circle, why document private encounters? Why archive everything? Some argue it was leverage. Others say there's no proof of systematic blackmail. But here's the contradiction. If powerful individuals were being extorted, why did meetings continue? Why did emails continue? Why did the access continue? That's the part no one can cleanly explain. The political firestorm. The document releases sparked chaos. Names surfaced across political lines. Former presidents, billionaires, tech moguls, high-profile attorneys. Some denied ever visiting the island. Some admitted past meetings but claimed no wrongdoing. Some stepped down from positions. Some called the documents misleading. And through it all, the Department of Justice announced no new charges. That decision alone ignited another wave of distrust. Because when millions of pages drop and no one new is charged, people start asking, is that justice or is that protection?
Chapter 6. The Media Problem. Here's something strange. For years, many of these names floated around quietly, dismissed as rumor, framed as coincidence, buried under headlines. Now, with documented contact, the narrative shifts, but slowly, carefully. Fragmented releases, heavy redactions, missed deadlines. Transparency delivered in pieces. And when transparency arrives in fragments, trust erodes. Not because guilt is proven, but because clarity never fully comes. Chapter 7. The Bigger Question. This isn't just about one man. It's about the structure that allowed him to exist. How does someone with no clear origin of wealth gain access to presidents, royal families, global CEOs, and intelligence-connected institutions without gatekeepers, without protection, without benefit flowing both directions? That's the part that makes this story larger than scandal. It makes it systemic. Final act. The question no one wants to ask. Here's the most uncomfortable thought. If one Epstein existed, could another exist right now? Someone with access, someone with cameras, someone collecting leverage. Not in secret underground bunkers, but in plain sight, at galas, on private jets, at exclusive retreats. History shows us something simple. Power protects power. Until it doesn't. And when it collapses publicly. The files may be closed. The investigations may be complete. But the questions? Those are just beginning. What do you think? Coincidence? Systemic corruption? Or something in between? Comment your perspective below. And if you want a deeper breakdown of specific names, timelines, and document trails, subscribe, because this rabbit hole is far from over.